All right. Um, so today I'm going to be talking about NWA World Championship Wrestling Sunday Edition. Um, but I'm also going to be talking about other promotions, not just this. But if you like videos like this, leave a like and subscribe. Videos uploaded every week. No, every month. Not every week. It's now every month. I changed it. Um, so let's put the camera up here really quick and we'll just dive into it. It's probably going to be another short video. Um, Podcasts usually go for 10, 15 to 20 minutes if you're by yourself. Um, but yeah, when you talk about um, World Championship Wrestling's, Sunday edition um, in 88, I think early 88, Tony Schiavone and Magnum TA provided the best commentary possible during that whole entire event. Um, so every episode um, had pre-taped, had pre-recorded, taped. Well, every episode, all the promos were pre-taped. They were pre-recorded for every episode. Um, for example, from the world champion Ric Flair, um, which he stated in that pre-recorded promo tape that Lex Luger did not have what it takes to be a horseman. Um, Luger and the Horsemen. Well, he had the look. Um, when it comes to wrestling, I think he was decent enough in the ring, you know. But he had the look, decent wrestler, and with him it just didn't work out for him in the group, and um, you know, backstage politics wanted him removed from the group. Um, just didn't work out for him. So, but he pretty much called Michael Hayes just another contender. Um, I like Michael Hayes. I mean, I have like nothing against the guy, but he was not main event material. I kind of viewed him on the tag team title level. I kind of pictured him in tag teams on the tag team title level, to be honest with you. But I just never could ever picture him in the top contenders list. And it's really nothing against him. Um, he wasn't world champion material. Um, but Michael Hayes was a good wrestler. I'm not denying that. Um, I I like the Freebirds. I really do. Um, in the '90s, they were faded out. The Freebirds. 90s, when it came to the 90s, they were starting to fade out. Um, 70s, they were good in the 70s. They were selling out arenas in the 70s and the 80s, but when it came to the 90s, they were just starting to fade out. They weren't in the company long. Um, and then there was an interview with the Sheep Herders about their attack on the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky and Robert. I would say Ricky and Robert are my all-time favorites when it comes to tag team. They're in my top 10 list of all-time great tag team wrestlers for sure. And in the promo, the Sheep Herders vowed their revenge, as stated in their promo. Um, then you saw a post-match angle involving Mike Rotunda defeating Jimmy Garvin in an amateur match, which was kind of cool. Garvin was attacked by Kevin Sullivan and Rick Steiner. And then Precious intervened with a 2x4 to help Garvin and Rotunda escape. That's basically all Precious can do to defend herself. I don't like women getting physically involved in wrestling matches. I got a huge problem with that. But she was one tough woman for sure. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that in a good way. So, um, Barry Windham and Dusty Rhodes, Great American Bash was decent, but not a great match. Barry Windham basically carried Dusty all through the whole entire match on an average level. The finish is considered the most notable part of the match. The whole thing with Ronnie Garvin turning heel was good for the business because they were trying to get him over as the top heel in the company before his departure. And he would eventually go off to WWE and have that feud with Greg the Hammer Valentine. Sherry Martel didn't care. She would get physically involved all the time during one of Randy Savage's matches. She was one tough woman too. I mean, she didn't really fucking care. You know, that's the best thing I like about Sherry Martel. She was one tough woman for sure. But Miss Elizabeth never got physically involved. No. Later on in WCW, she would start to do that, but not in WWE, that's for sure. Road Warriors and Dusty Rhodes versus Powers of Pain and Ivan Koloff. The matches were better than they looked on paper. The match ended when Animal pinned Warlord after a barbed wire match. I love barbed wire matches. I have to go on record on that. Now, if you want to see a good barbed wire match, go watch one with Terry Funk involved in it. I mean, he made those matches look famous. Midnight Express versus the Fantastics. The match was good. The Midnight Express were a popular tag team in the 80s and had a fan base. They would retain the titles via DQ, um, which now these days I hate DQ finishes. I think they're just terrible for the business, and they should really do away with it. I think every match should be no disqualifications. That's the only way to do away with it because it's stupid. Why would you want that kind of a finish? That's going to wreck the whole entire pay per view. I don't get it. Um, the Bulldogs versus the Rougeau brothers. Now, if you watch their matches, they're fun to watch. I like the match at SummerSlam '88. It's one of my favorites. So I would rate their matches a 2.5 stars. By far the highest rated match besides the main event put together. Um, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross were praised for their sharp and realistic commentary. Um, Bob Cotto, who we recently lost um, this past week, was joined by Steve Williams for a segment where Williams addressed the Rhodes situation and endorsed Sting to win the main event, which was good for him to do that. But the crowd was not enthusiastic. They responded appropriately on television, which was good. Um, so with its home viewers, some matches like the Bulldogs and Rougeaus received higher ratings than expected, suggesting that the matches were better than they looked on paper going into the event. So that's it. Um, yeah. Um, I watch a lot of Jim Crockett Promotions, National Wrestling Alliance. I watch more of that than the WWE content, to be honest with you, because the Crockett's could provide the best wrestling matches in the whole entire world, and you know they did everything right for the business, better than Ted Turner did. So I'm going to end this video, and if I had to give a rating on these, if I had to give a rating for this, I'd probably give it 8 out of 10. I got to be honest with you. So if you thought I did a good job on this video, leave a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.